First one is depression. For example, the kids home, constantly all the time from being suspended in school, they're not seeing their friends and not interacting socially. They tend to get depressed because now they're home, recycling the false story that that got them there in the first place. They won't learn the skill of self-expression and confidence, because now they're scared to express themselves because it was expressing themselves that got them in trouble in the first place. So that's a big issue. They won't learn communication skills, the skill that they need to learn to express themselves or talk to other people. They won't develop those skills because most of the skills are taught in school and from their own peer group. Phobias. They tend to have a lot of phobias of fear of expression, fear of life, fear of thinking the wrong things. There's suicidal thoughts and suicide, because now they're thinking that they don't fit in, they don't belong. That's another big issue that they create, because now they're by themselves, and by nature, people are social creatures. They won't learn about drugs and drug use, and probably it creates short-term and long-term form. Like the kid who's at home, they won't learn how certain drugs, like say marijuana, is not good for their brain cell when they're growing and developing. And that's a big issue. The kids won't learn social skills, as far as like playing with each other, interacting, learning different cultural skills and interaction with certain groups. They won't learn about personal responsibility, and that's a big thing. Personal responsibility. To know that if they're right or wrong, or if they're wrong, how do they fix it? If they're right, how can they express themselves to say that they're right? But that's a powerful skill to have, is learn how to be personally responsible for yourself and for your actions and for other people around you. The kids will never learn social dynamic skills. How do I fit in within a group? How do I interact with other groups? And how do other groups interact with me? And how to take a leadership role or take a back seat to other people in the same group, or make the social dynamic works within a certain situation. Also, they'll never learn problem-solving skills. When a person tends to be by themselves, it's hard to learn certain skills growing up and you're constantly by yourself. So you don't know where to go to find a source to solve a problem or how to solve a problem, because you never learned those basic skills of getting the answers and moving on from there and growing from there. Also, too, is self-education. How do you learn self-education? How do you learn, if a teacher can't give an answer, or parents or mother or father can't give an answer, how do I take the responsibility to self-educate myself instead of waiting on somebody to spoon-feed me the information or solve a problem for me? How do I get the self-education so I'll know how to do that myself, and I can go to a library or the internet or go down the street or go to my neighbor? How do I learn those skills about self-education? Also, pass on what I've learned to future generations. A kid who's young, who lack all these skills, what can they teach their kids in the future about self-education, personal responsibility, social skills, phobias or communication skills? That's a big thing. So through punishment, they could not learn or learn the wrong things. So when they pass on to their kids, they're passed on the same destructive attitude and destructive behavior to their kids, and which create a cycle. What if a kid who's in school is constantly getting punished? That also creates emotional issues. But not only that, what if the kid have emotional issues before they even get to school? Now, once they're home, there's no way of educating themselves how to get answers for their emotional issues and how to learn to deal with emotional issues. It's hard because now they're home, they're confined, they're thinking the wrong things, not knowing to get an education how to solve the problem. So that's a big issue, and a lot of kids with emotional issues tend to get in trouble because they lack the self-expression to express the correct words to say who they are and what they're about. What if these kids have mental issues? but they don't have the proper diagnosis. So now, instead of getting the proper diagnosis, they're getting punished. They're not getting rewarded for trying to express themselves. They're getting punished for expressing themselves in the wrong way, or the way the teacher thinks is wrong. So now they're at home, tell themselves the same wrong mental story. Now it creates a bigger issue. From a small issue becomes a bigger issue. Once they get to adults, even a bigger issue, because now these people become some say menace to society, or create a menace to their own self. That's a big issue. Also, what if the kid's gay or lesbian? Okay, how could it relate if they're at home all the time, knowing that they're not the only ones suffering from the same thing, or not knowing how to express themselves being gay or lesbian, or or even talk about being gay or lesbian. But not only that, they might think that they don't wonder gay or lesbian, but not knowing that gay comes in different cultures, different religion, and different animal species, and they themselves are not the only one that might suffer from that, or know about that. Or it's not, I should say it's not suffering, but they're not the only one that's unique or different like that. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that's who they are as a person. But how would they know that if they at home are getting punished for being who they are?
Depression in this country is major, but depression with kids is really bad, because adults can get their needs met. Kids, they don't know what to do. They don't know who to go to. They don't even know they're depressed. And a lot of kids are killing themselves and getting into drugs and all that because they have nothing else to do. I mean, look at the fact that if 50% of children of color in this country are not graduating from high school, which is a glass ceiling, the high school. If they're not graduating, what are they doing? They're in prison, they're in the social service system, they don't do anything, they hang out on street corners, because they have no direction. And they may not have a role model, I mean, look at, they've incarcerated so many black males and Latino males that there aren't a lot of fathers out there helping their boys. I mean, there are so many issues around the fact that if we don't get an education, where do you go from here?
I had a family that right now, because what happened to their child about 3-4 years ago, now they see the consequence, the financial consequences, and the father and mother losing job and not being able to work and so forth, and the family separating all that, through the pain and suffering of that young man and so on, all that, to me is very painful, and that's why I stand firm, and supporting the children of Brockton, the children of Brockton, because families should not go through that. They send their children to school to be educated, not be put into the court system, and that's a problem.
It was kind of hard because they would try to ask me about what I had to do the whole time, what I missed out on. I just wanted to be in school. That's it, because I'm a good student. I didn't feel like I was doing anything bad. All I did was go into the room and help because the teacher asked for help. I mean, every time I think about it, it gets to me. It still gets to me every day. Whenever I have to think about it, because I feel like that messed up a lot that I had for me going, even though I still got through it. I still got through it, but going into high school, I could have, the math grade could have really helped. Because I was doing good in every other class, but the math was not good at all.
Okay.
And then my sophomore year, the math was still not good until my sophomore year teacher helped me.
Yeah, I had one kid who I was mentoring.
Okay.
I mentored him from junior high all the way up to high school, and he got a scholarship. He played 4 years of football at Brockton High, and he got a scholarship to Boston College.
Wow.
He played for Boston College 4 years. He was a wide receiver, and he got drafted by Atlanta Falcons,
That's good.
and he spent a year with them. Now he works for Fidelity Investment.
Society, social issues it creates. No intercultural skills between the groups. A constant us versus them mentality. Fight amongst the races, economic and social class. Lack of empathy towards fellow men. Family structure deterioration. Feel uncomfortable around different groups and sexes. It causes riots, distrust, and fear. Lack of respect for the laws and authority. Citizens are constantly in jail, court system, etc. Never ending struggle to re-educate the population. More government control, less respect for the government. The economic costs, direct and indirect. It takes more to re-educate the population. Job skills are minimal. Less diverse workforce. Constant lawsuit and litigations. More people on government assistance because the family structure is destroyed. Strikes because unions, laborers, management can't understand or relate to each other. More jail and prisons. More police, court officers. More family counselors. More diversity counselors. More and more taxes to pay for social control and re-education of the population. Once we all work together, here's some of the benefits. There'll be more teamwork, more share of information and data, a greater problem-solving skill because their interaction between the different cultures and groups are stronger. There'll be more inventions, way more collaborations, a more inclusive and diverse work group and society, less crime and punishment, and less